Hey everyone, welcome to the next video in our panel tear-up series. My name is Sydney. I'm our product marketing manager here at Rally.
And I'm Lauren, and I'm our content marketing manager.
And in this video series, we pull up panel landing pages from Rally customers and other research teams and share what's great about them and what we can learn. And today we are taking a look at Atlassian's panel. I really love the colors. I think they've done a really good job of making research feel fun.
No, and I think the branding is fun, and it feels very polished and put together.
And of course, they have the sign up call to action immediately above the folds. But let's scroll down. I like that they have made this section very clear.
Yeah, and I think we see these call outs a lot, but I always love the call out of like connecting directly with product teams.
What might you be asked to do? It's very transparent in terms of what might be expected if you join.
And I think this information comes usually after, when you've already been picked for a research study, but it's nice to just have this upfront.
So they say your answers will help make sure you get invited to research that's relevant to you. The questions that they've put into the screener are obviously very intentional, and I'm sure that they use the responses to those questions in order to filter their audience and recruit for the next study. That's really helpful because when you're building a panel of users, you want to make sure that they're easy to segment, because that just makes your recruitment even faster, and you know that you're talking to the right people, especially as it relates to self-serve research when you have PMs and designers that need to recruit.
I also like the call out of like, you can always say no to an invite and you can unsubscribe at any time.
That makes sense from a research perspective as well, because you want to have a panel that's full of active participants that are ready and willing to contribute to research. But let's take a look at these FAQs.
I like the, can I leave the group? I also like the personality that's in here, like the we'll miss you, and it feels very human. And then I also like too the call out of like who gets to take part in Atlassian research, and just being really clear that it can be people that love it, don't love it, use the product, don't.
I think there's something to be said about having folks join that aren't Atlassian customers. What some of our Rally customers do is they will invite anyone to their panel, customers and non-customers, and that unlocks competitive research, that unlocks doing research with non-customers who maybe aren't biased towards your product or haven't seen it before. And that could be really helpful for studies that product needs to run, like usability testing and that sort of thing. All right, sign me up. Here is the beginning of the form. So let's put in some info. I've seen this question before, and I think it's really clever, because when they are recruiting for their next study with a tool like Rally, where you can build your study in any language, you can actually use responses like this to filter participants by what country they're from. And so you know what language to put the study in.
Yeah, and it just leads to like a better participant experience, right?
And again, here they are listing out their own products, and so clearly they are also using this question to filter participants by what products they're using. This is a huge advantage to not just research and product, but the marketing team, the sales team, because they're able to dig up those pieces of information from customers. We can see that this survey is powered by Qualtrics. And what we've seen Rally customers do is every time a participant takes a screener, Rally's integration with Qualtrics is able to then segment those participants, update their profiles, so that when you're recruiting on the Rally side for your next study, it's easy to filter using responses from a survey like this.
I don't feel like we've seen something like this at all.
No, I don't think so either. This is a really interesting question, because obviously when you're doing research with someone who controls a budget or makes decisions about what tools they're purchasing, they have a different perspective on a tool like Atlassian compared to someone who does not have that buying power. So maybe that's what they're using this for. I think it's very smart to include this. The end, love this graphic. All right, so Lauren, what would you say is your biggest takeaway about Atlassian's panel?
So I think Atlassian did a really good job with having very intentional screener questions. You can tell that these questions are driving toward ensuring that there's really high quality, rich information about the participants in the panel, which, to our point earlier, makes the process of recruiting from your panel much quicker and can ensure that researchers and non-researchers are tapping the right people.
All right, well, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and be sure to follow us on LinkedIn for more videos like this. And we'll also drop the link to the Atlassian panel if you'd like to join in the comments.